Your rehearsal is not preparing your team, it is exhausting them. Now, I know that is a strong thing to say, but if we are honest with ourselves, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The rehearsal runs long. You go over the same section 4 times. Someone is on their phone. Someone else looks defeated. You spend 40 minutes on music and 3 minutes on God. And then you wonder why Sunday feels mechanical. Here is what nobody said to you when you took on this role. A bad rehearsal does not just produce a bad Sunday. It slowly kills the culture of your team. Musicians who feel like rehearsal is a grind stop investing. They stop bringing their full presence. They start showing up to execute and nothing more. And you cannot lead people into an encounter when the people you are leading have already checked out. Rehearsal is not just music practice. It is team formation. And most worship leaders have never been taught the difference. I'm going to give you a framework for running a rehearsal that actually prepares your team spiritually, musically, relationally, all three, because Sunday requires all three and your rehearsal is where all three are either built or neglected. So stay with me. So let me describe a rehearsal I have seen 100 times. The worship leader arrives with the set list, hands out charts if you have charts, and the team start playing or they start singing or they're in separate rooms. Someone is setting up. Someone has not learned the song. There is no opening prayer, or if there is one, it is rushed and feels like a formality. The rehearsal runs through every song from beginning to end. Notes are given in the moment. Energy gets lower with each song. And by the end, everyone is tired and nobody's ready. Sound familiar? The problem is not the people on your team. The problem is the structure or the lack of it. When rehearsal has no clear purpose beyond getting through the songs, it produces teams that know the songs and nothing else. They can execute the music, but they do not know where they are going spiritually. They do not understand why the songs are in that order. They have not been led. They have just been rehearsed. There is a difference between a musical rehearsal and a worship team rehearsal. A musical rehearsal produces people who know their parts. A worship team rehearsal produces people who know their parts and know their purpose. Your job is to run the second kind. Here is the framework that makes that possible. 4 parts, every rehearsal, every time. Part 1, I want you to open with purpose, not formality. The first 5 minutes of your rehearsal set the culture for everything that follows. If you open with logistics, your team will treat the whole rehearsal as logistics. If you open with God, your team will carry that into Sunday. Now, that does not mean a 40-minute devotional before you touch an instrument. It means 5 intentional minutes. 3 things in those 5 minutes. First, state the purpose of this Sunday in 1 sentence, not the set list, the purpose. What is God doing in this house right now? And what is this Sunday's worship meant to serve? When your team understands the why, every musical decision has context. Second, share 1 line from 1 song in your set that you want the team to carry with them. Not explain it at length. Just put the word in the room and let it sit. Thirdly, pray with intention, not a generic opener. Pray specifically for what you just said. Ask God to do in rehearsal what only He can do on Sunday. When your team hears you pray specifically, they know you have actually thought about this. 5 minutes, done. But those 5 minutes change everything that follows. Part 2, teach the arc before you play the songs. Now, before you play a single note or you sing a single note, I want you to walk your team through the journey of the set, not song by song, arc by arc. Tell them we are opening here because the congregation arrives in this place. We move here because this is where God wants to take them. The 4th song is the peak because this is the moment of surrender we are building toward. The closing is this because we want people to leave carrying this truth. This takes about 3 to 5 minutes, but it transforms your team from musicians executing a set list into ministers building a journey. They are not just playing or singing their parts anymore. They understand where every part belongs in a larger story. When your team understands the arc, They make better musicians and singers. They make better musical decisions in the moment. They know when to pull back and when to press in. They know when silence serves the set and when momentum does. You cannot give them that instinct in the moment. You give it to them in rehearsal. Part 3, work the music and voices with precision. Now you play, now you sing. And here is where most worship leaders lose time. Do not run through songs from beginning to end unless the song is new to the team. Running through a song you all know wastes 30 minutes. Instead, work the moments. Before you start, identify 3 moments in the set that need the most attention. A tricky musical transition, a key change, a moment where you want the band to drop out or the singers to drop out completely, a build that needs to land exactly at the right time. Work those moments. Drill them until they are instinctive. Leave the parts everyone already knows alone. 2 practical rules for the music section of rehearsal. Rule number 1, stop and fix it in the moment. If something is wrong, pause. Do not finish the song and give your notes at the end. By the time you finish the song, the moment is gone and the correction does not land with the same weight. Stop, address it, play it again, move on. Rule number 2, communicate to your team before rehearsal what they need to know beforehand. New songs go out at least a week in advance. If you have charts, they're distributed maybe the day before. If your team is learning a song for the first time at rehearsal, you are already behind. That is your preparation problem, not their ability problem. Close with commissioning, not logistics. So this is the part almost no one does, and it is the part that your team will remember most. Do not end rehearsal with announcements or final notes. End it with a send-off. 2 minutes. Remind your team of the purpose you started at the opening. Remind them of the arc you built. Then speak over them. Not a prayer this time, a declaration. Tell them who they are before they leave that room. You can say something like this. You are not musicians. You are ministers. On Sunday, you are not there to perform. You are there to lead people into the presence of God. What you carry matters. How you prepared matters. Go and be ready. Those are the last words your team hears before Sunday. Make them count. If you only take one thing from this video, take this. Before your next rehearsal, answer this question. What is the one thing I want my team to understand about this Sunday that they would not figure out from just playing the songs? Write it down. Start rehearsal with that. Build everything else around it. That one question will change your rehearsal faster than any framework ever will, because it forces you to lead before you pick up an instrument or you pick up a song. I pray this helped you. And if it did, share it with your worship team this week. And if you want to go deeper on how to build the set itself before you bring it to rehearsal, I have a video on set list building right here. Watch that first, then bring it to rehearsal. That is the full picture. I will see you on Thursday. I will be right here. The table is already set. Your